Positive spin. This was a win for Jets fans because now we don't have to wonder all week during a bye week if there's these possibilities that we could possibly maybe get into the playoffs if all these wild things wind up going right. Jets lose 28-27. We're an embarrassment. We're 3-8. I'm frustrated. It's not going to rain on my parade. Parade's over. Parade stopped happening a few weeks ago. Go over some of the stats from the game. Give you guys my thoughts. Look, there were some positives to take away from the game. I thought at times players looked good. I thought the defense played, well, for the most part. Like Quincy and Quinnen were both playing all right. But, man, we just cannot hold anything back. There was a stretch of like 6 drives by the Colts where I think it was like punt, field goal, turnover on downs, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. The fact that our offense can only do this much in a game is incredibly frustrating. Incredibly frustrating. So even though it's a Jets loss, I'm going to take it as a win. I'm going to take it as a win because I don't have to care quite so much moving forward. I don't have to worry about all these potential, maybe false hope. Nope, we just stink. We're bad. Per Tankathon right now, we own the 7th pick. I'm sure there's more games going on and bye weeks and stuff, so it's hard to kind of hash it out too much right now, but looks like the Jets are sitting in the 7th pick. Aaron Rodgers, 22 of 29, 184 yards and 2 touchdowns, and it didn't feel like he even did that well. It was like kind of frustrating because he did get the 2 touchdowns. I'm actually surprised to see the completion percentage as high as it was. It just felt like a game that dragged on. Tale of 2 halves. Couldn't do anything in the first half. Second half, Jets turned it on. Terrible waste of a timeout there at the end. Terrible timeout. 4th down, trying to get them to jump. Isn't that try to run up to the line and then try to get them to jump and then you either take the penalty and kick it from 5 yards back or you snap the ball? You got to make that decision. I don't think you burn a timeout with 2 minutes left in the game when you might have to get the ball back to go the other way. So demerit there. Breece Hall had himself a nice day. 78 yards on the ground on 16 carries with a touchdown. That's 4.9 yards per carry. Also had 7 receptions for 43 yards and a touchdown. Breece Hall's a stud. Breece Hall, you're a stud. Devontae Adams was our top receiver, 6 receptions, 72 yards. Garrett Wilson, 4 receptions, 18 yards is all he could muster for today. For the sacks, we got Quinnen with a sack. Got Kinlaw with the strip sack and fumble recovery. That really gave us life. Without that, I'm not so sure. Well, obviously we wouldn't have won the game. We didn't win the game anyway. Oh, I'm going to have Ulbrich's press conference and I have Aaron Rodgers' press conference pulled up. So as soon as that goes live, I will pull that up and we can talk about that. In terms of team stats for the day, or I guess let's see what the Colts had. Anthony Richardson, 272 and a touchdown. He was 20 of 30. He also had 32 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns on the ground. So 3 touchdowns from Anthony Richardson today. As far as teams go, the Colts outgained us in total yards. Rushing yards were split even, 91-91. We were 4 of 13 on 3rd down and 0 for 1 on 4th. Time of possession, we had just under 26 minutes. They had 34 minutes. Man, how many 3 and outs do we have? I wish that was a stat I could pull up real quick. 3 and outs at the beginning part of the game. We didn't get a first down until way late in the game. Was that 3rd quarter? Or no, that was the penalty. I think it was 2nd quarter we got our first down. That was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I was offered tickets to go to this game. Box tickets. Free box tickets to go to the game. I was like, I'm not paying $75 for parking. This team is not worth the parking pass. It's not worth the parking pass. I don't care if you get free tickets. Damn it. Oh, man. This stream powered by BetUS. Thank you so much for sponsoring the stream. Looking at the quick lines from today, the total over-under of 44 points. They did hit the over, surprisingly. I would have said they would have gone with the under for this week. And look, this is a game the Jets historically win, like giving us a little bit of hope in the going into the bye week when we don't have to, like when winning game doesn't really help us anymore. So look, we're all aboard the tank train right now. So Colts get the win, obviously covered the spread, and over on the points. So head over to BetUS, get 150% bonus on your first deposit up to $2,000 with code YouTube150. Like I said, I'll have Ulbrich and Rodgers press conferences in just a little bit. I want to go to your questions and comments in the chat. I see Sorless says, Tank is on Tyrod and Travis 2025. Oh, we've got Ulbrich. I'll come back to this.
Execute better. And obviously, I got to get him into a better call in those situations. I was confident that the defense was going to get the stop. That's why I opted to kick the field goal there and not go for it. But in hindsight, like I probably should have gone for it because we didn't stop him, obviously.
What happened on those last two possessions? It seems like you guys got the momentum with points, and then it was touchdown Colts. You guys get the momentum with touchdown Colts.
Yeah, just lack of execution. And I probably should have gotten to a better call. I'll take a hard look at this tape and see what I could have done better as far as getting him in a better position to be successful there. But just didn't get it done in a critical moment. You got to be at your best in those moments, and we weren't.
What was wrong with on the long pass to Pierce? Why are you second guessing the call?
I always point the finger at myself first. I think that's the best way to do it. And believe me, there's accountability from a player standpoint too, and we'll take a hard look at that as well. So, but I always look at all the factors. The exact call, the best call, and then the best execution too. So all those things go into it.
Jeff, with 8 losses now, where is this team at this season?
Angry, frustrated, not in a good place from that standpoint. Obviously, guys are working their butts off, and obviously there's an element that something's missing. Whether it be in the preparation and the game planning and the execution, and or if it's a little bit of all those things. It's a good time for a bye to really not necessarily take a break, but really reassess where we're at and what we do best going forward, what we're not doing well, and we need to get fixed, and take a hard look at ourselves.
So how much is the offense being hurt by Aaron not being willing to throw the ball down the field?
We'll take a hard look at the tape. There's an element, of course, injury is going to hamper anybody in these type of situations, but it never comes down to one man. It comes down to protection, receivers, running backs, the running game, all those things. So I know Aaron would love to be playing better, but it's not just him; it's all of us.
Jeff, was there in the first half that you guys wasn't until like your last drive that you moved the ball?
We'll take a hard look at the tape and see exactly what it was.
Was there any thought at all on the 4th and 2 where you guys kept the and then you took a timeout? Was there any thought at all to just take the delay game, back it up 5, and kick from there to preserve that timeout?
Yeah, I wanted to give the kicker the best opportunity he could to make that kick. Didn't want to push him back any farther than that.
Jeff, since you've taken over, running the whole show here, the defense has gone backward. What do you have an explanation for that? Are you spread too thin? What's? I mean, it hasn't been the same since.
Yeah, we need to be better. We need to be better, and this bye week will allow me an opportunity to really take a hard look at myself and take a hard look at everything that we're doing, not just defensively, but everything.
You mentioned anger and frustration. Just kind of what's your message now at 3-8 and with 6 games remaining?
True strength is demonstrated in these moments where adversity really hits, and it's hitting us from a football perspective. There's this is probably one of the higher level of adversity that you'll ever face. So it's an opportunity to not let your situation define who you are. And show the world exactly who you are in these really tough moments. Show your teammates who you are in these really tough moments, and ultimately, like that brand of football that we play, regardless of the situation, regardless of the implications. That's who we are. So, there's still a lot of pride in that locker room, and guys are going to still fight. I know that.
Jeff, I mean this, no disrespect, but you've been saying that a lot these last few weeks. Why is it not getting home when the losses continue?
Yeah, again, I'm going to take a real hard look. This bye week gives us an opportunity to step back without having to game plan, without having to prepare for a game, and really assess where we're at and where we're falling short.
Anthony Richardson went into this game really struggling with completion percentage. I think it was historically low. He completed 66% today. Here for almost 300 yards, I think, the rushing touchdown. I mean, why was he able to have so much success?
I'll tell you that on tomorrow, next day, when I get to take a look at the film. There's some things, I got some ideas for sure, and obviously some things that we fixed within the game, but I'll have a clear picture tomorrow.
Jeff, what happened on the Pierce, on the Pierce, the long Pierce play there? What happened? What was supposed to take place there?
Yeah, we need to execute better. I'm not going to go into the specifics about it.
Jeff, why have you struggled so much with the quarterbacks rushing for touchdowns? I think it's 7 in the last 6 games now.
Yeah, we got to be better at it for sure. And it's also a byproduct of some really athletic quarterbacks that can hurt you with their legs. But it's another thing that this bye week give us an opportunity to really take a hard look at.
Jeff, when you sit down with Woody Johnson, whether it's in there or tomorrow, what do you say to him? He's obviously tried to do a lot of things to help this team win in terms of adding players, adding Devontae, getting Reddick in here, making a coaching change. What do you say to him as the boss of what's going wrong here?
Right, I take the responsibility for sure. It's on my shoulders and it's ultimately on my watch. So I got to do a better job.
Thanks, everyone.
I'll be honest, I almost feel bad for Ulbrich there. He's clearly, his nervous tick or his go-to answer is I'm going to take a hard look at the tape. And I don't think he has an answer. I think it's just I think everyone on the team, the players included, the coaches included, know this season's cooked, and everyone's just kind of like on autopilot going the rest of the way. As far as what I'd like to see out of this team the rest of the way out, I want to see Olu play in every game. I want to see Corley in there every game. I want, give me a look at some of these young guys. Give me McGregor. Give me Watts. All the young dudes that you can across the board. I want to see a little Stiggers out there. Why not? Get these guys some reps. What are we going to see the rest of the way out? I'll be honest, I do want to see Tyrod Taylor a little bit. See what that kind of looks like. I almost feel like we got to embarrass Rodgers enough so that way he either retires or they're somehow forced to cut him. Saw that story come out earlier this week of Devontae coming over only if Rodgers is the quarterback in 2025. I don't know if that's a legally binding thing or not, but it does feel like Rodgers was planning to be here for 2025. Man, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. All right. Let's go through some of my fucking head is spinning right now. Stupid team. Let's go into some comment questions. I want to talk to you guys, see what you have going on. Sorless had brought up Tank is on Jordan Travis and Tyrod Taylor 2025. Yeah, I'm curious to see if we wind up going for a quarterback this year. Is this something that we do in the draft? Or are we going to give those two a shot next year and then go in on a quarterback next year? You got to think it's a whole new regime. It's just a matter of Rodgers is here or not. So we'll see. See where that all plays out. Let me catch back up here. Brandon says, starting to think Brick is looking at literal tape. Yeah, I think it's just a roll of duct tape. I'm going to take a real hard look at it. That's all he's got. Take a real hard look, says Eric. Oh, Latif. Thank you for the super chat. It says, I'm frustrated with this team. I want everyone fired. I don't want Rodgers back. Where's the leadership? Kansas City may not have a great roster, but they still win. Just win the game. No excuses. Yeah, this is poor coaching, I think, more than anything else. There's a lot of really good players. I think Rodgers is absolutely a problem. I'm over the Rodgers experience at this point. I very much hope we don't have to deal with him next year. I'd love to see a Tyrod and Travis with this roster type of year next year. I don't really want to trade pieces away, if that makes sense. And then, if you get to the deadline, you want to start shipping parts off at that point. I think that's sort of where I lie. But as far as where's the leadership? We need it. We need it bad. It's clearly not on this team. These guys just come out flat. Come out flat consistently. You knew Richardson was going to kill you on the ground. You just let it happen. Just let it happen. Oh, man. I am not going to let this team eat up too much longer of my day. We're going to do this for a half hour. This will be a half-hour live show. So get your questions in now. Do it for another 15 minutes, and then I'm going to go enjoy the rest of my Sunday because this is ridiculous. Sorless says, Ulbrich was launched into a position he wasn't ready for, and it shows. Feel bad for him. Yeah, I don't even think he really wanted it, to be honest. It's one of those, obviously he wanted to coach for Salah still, but I don't think he was really in a hurry to go be a head coach anywhere. And didn't even feel like he wanted it when he got it initially. Maybe Middleton should have just been the guy. I don't know. Oreo says, bench Rodgers for Travis. I honestly would really like to see it. They're not going to do it, though. I'd be very, very surprised. Oreo followed that up with Rodgers selfish and is going to force us to watch him play another year. His arm is gone, can't throw deep. His decision-making is mediocre. Yo, he lost. There was one throw to, I think it was Garrett Wilson, that he tried to throw along the far sideline. I'll have the every throw up on Twitter tonight. But man, there was one throw that I thought he just could not get any energy into. I'll have to relook at it. Maybe he was like going off his back foot or something. But I looked at it, I was like, that's a bad throw. It was incomplete, but it was like a very like, this ball's not getting out in a hurry type throw. He did not look good. Even with like the stats, I don't know what the average depth of target was, but it could not have been very far. Like some of his best plays, the reason why he had as much yardage as he did, felt like it was all yak, which is why you bring a lot of these guys in here, right? Like you draft a Corley, you have a Garrett Wilson, a Breece Hall. All these guys are supposed to generate yak yards. So I guess that is part of the plan. But man, he definitely does not look great. EP Jet says it was 8 hard likes. I'm glad you're paying attention to that. He also says, Ryan, need to get a hard look shirt going. Yeah, I got to figure out how to do a hard look. I don't think anyone's going to buy it, though. It's more of like a gimmick that I'll give to people that win on the spin wheel. Let's see. HBO's hard look. That's a good one. Maybe we'll do that. Kung Fu says, no, get the heck out of here, Rodgers. I'll have his press conference when he comes up momentarily. Hopefully it's within a half hour because I don't want to sit here all that much longer. Morning, Woody. What's up? I think Brick is snorting lines just from the way he's always sniffling. Feel bad for Brick. How about us fans? This team sucks. Absolutely put Taylor in. We'd probably win some games. Yeah, look, I'm sort of at this weird middle ground of like, do I want to see the Jets win games or do I really want to just bottom out? I'm not like, I want to see them win because I don't want them to just totally nuke the whole like roster next year and have some sort of like success. Because like we've had high draft picks forever. Is it going to help us anymore? I don't know. If it helps us get a really good coach, I'm all for it. That's sort of where I'm at. I feel like the coach matters more than the players right now. Like, I still think you need a quarterback, and I think Rodgers is a problem. But, yeah, man, I don't know. Travis shouldn't prevent us from drafting someone if we like him. Yeah, I agree, Ross. I think I don't want Jordan Travis to be the Christian Hackenberg of this year. Like, where we're like, oh, we want to see what Hackenberg has in the future. So we're not going to draft Patrick Mahomes or Deshaun Watson pre-stuff. Yeah, that didn't work. It did not work out, so I don't want to do it again. I'm with you. Radimus says, I don't think I'm watching the rest of the season. I don't blame you. I told Becca today, I was like, this is like, it sucks I got to waste some time watching this game right now. Like, we're gonna do something I don't like. It's never like you can't just win a game and win it confidently. You can't lose a game and like at least be like, oh man, at least we did X, Y, and Z like real good. Like this one leaves a bitter taste in your mouth. This is one of 2 games that I thought we had a chance of winning. You have the Colts game today and you have the Jaguars game. Jaguars got blown the hell out by the Lions today. I still think the Jaguars can beat us. Like, I don't know if there's a winnable game the rest of the way out on this schedule. Owen says, I don't want Rodgers next year. I'd rather see Tyrod Taylor and Jordan Travis. This is sad, man. Yeah, dude, I'm right there with you. Question. You still don't believe the Jets you still don't believe the Jets shouldn't trade Sauce. Give up 3 killer plays and is getting cooked by rookies. His season continues to get worse. Yeah, look, I'm not against trading Sauce. I just don't think I want to trade anyone. I don't really want to trade anyone on the roster unless I'm going to get overpaid for it, like before next year's trade deadline. I'd rather a new regime come in, see if you can spark something amongst this team, get them to play better, and then if the season goes off the rails next year or the team looks lost or like they need to move on or guys are toxic or something, then I'd probably trade Breece in season, as best you can. And then I'd probably wait till the offseason to make the decisions on on Sauce and Garrett, unless someone's offering you like a really pretty penny. I would like to retain Garrett, though. Garrett looks like he's balling out as far as like, I shouldn't even say balling out, but like effort-wise. The effort looks like it's there from him. The effort looks like it's there from Quincy. Like, there are good players on this team. If someone offers you 2 firsts for Sauce, I think you have to definitely consider it. That's a lot to help you start rebuilding. I don't really want to lose Sauce. But if you lost Sauce, then you probably pay Reed. And then you have Stiggers under control. Maybe you bring back Eccles. I don't know. I don't really want to consider it right now. I'll be honest. What is it? 20 yards rushing in the first half. We're so dysfunctional. Yeah, we just can't get the ball moving. This offense is like anemic. It's absolutely brutal. Kevin says, I want first overall pick. We can ship veteran players now, stack picks because we have to blow it up. Soon we'll have guys like Garrett, Sauce, and Hall demanding trade soon. Yeah, no, I think they will. I think you might hear some of that chirping in the offseason for sure. A lot of it kind of hinges on what happens with Rodgers. I don't think they'll call for trades if Rodgers is coming back. If it looks like we're here to blow it up, then I think you'll hear rumblings about it. But I would just hold off. I wouldn't trade all those guys yet. I think you can rebound to get some better value from them. I don't know. I'll take it on a case-by-case basis, really. Matt says, I'd really like to draft Jalen Milroe because of how good of an athlete he is and how he could be outside of the pocket. I'll come back to this. It looks like they're starting the Rodgers presser. So, Matt, hang tight. I will be back with that comment.
Aaron, can you just take us through that final drive for you guys, specifically the first and second down play, the one behind the line and then the pass to Brees?
Yeah, not a very good play. I was getting rushed. Knew Conk was out there somewhere. I was trying to throw it forward. I don't know if I got hit or it just didn't come off right. I was trying to throw an incompletion. Pretty bad play.
In the 5 opening series without a first down, what were some of the issues that were factoring into the slow start?
Yeah, I mean, I think a little bit of everything for us. Execution, I missed a couple throws. We had a couple MAs. So a little bit of everything.
What are the emotions right now at 3-8?
Yeah, disappointed. Disappointed.
How do you stay motivated going forward?
I'm in my 20th year, so I've figured out a way to do this for a long time. So I just gotta remember why you fell in love with this game. This will be definitely a week to clear all of our heads and come back and stick together.
I know we've talked about the lack of deep throws a decent amount the last couple weeks or so. I think it was, again today, just the one to Xavier on third down was beyond 15 yards or so. I mean, are teams doing anything to take it away from you? I mean, why is that lacking in the offense?
I played cover 2 most of the game. So there's 2 safeties in the middle and the Mike run down the middle. So you got to be patient.
Would you have liked to go for it on that last 4th down?
Yeah, but I mean, Brick felt good about Andrews kicking it and defense stopping it. So, but yeah, of course, I felt like we need to get to 30. Just beginning the game. Now, obviously, the way we played, still need to get to 30 to win. But yeah, if we were a great team, we would have scored 7 there.
There were a couple of good plays where you had success running for it. Is that something you do or would like to continue doing, or how'd you feel about it?
I felt healthy for the first time in a while. So I extended a couple plays here and there, but not exactly a major threat out there.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's good.
Just to clarify what you just said, if we were a great team, we would have scored 7 there. Is that a question of the decision to kick the field goal, or could you maybe elaborate?
No. I mean, if you look at what we did there, we just made some mistakes there that stopped the drive. We had a negative yards play, and didn't convert the keeper there, and then we called a screen. Like, if we convert those plays the way we know we're capable of converting, that's what I mean. It's all of us. No, I trust Brick.
implicitly, and Anders kicked really well today. But I wish we could have not given him the decision, just scored 7.
It looked like you were wanted to go for 2 after the last touchdown. Is that fair to say?
I like going for 2 in that situation when you're 7, can go up 9. The reason I was thinking is we'd had a conversation on the sideline about it, and I was under the impression that the decision was before the drive we're going to go for 2. Now something changed in the meantime, so the hardest part, and we know it, we've had a delay game on a 2-point, is to get everybody back. So I just assumed 2 and looked over and couldn't really tell. It looked like they were holding up 1. I was a little confused. I thought we talked about going for 2. So.
How does that make you feel? I mean, do you think that was a missed opportunity there?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, they went down, scored, and went for 2. So if we had missed it, it would have been tied. If we'd got it, we would have been up 2 scores, and they would have gone for 1, then they only would need a field goal to win. So, it's just part of the analytics. Obviously, Smash does a great job with that. He felt like 1 was the right choice, so there was 1.
How shocked are you, Aaron, that this team is 3-8?
Yeah, I mean, that's a buzzword, so I'm not even going to touch that. In response to what you just said, I'm just going to echo I'm disappointed.
You've been talking about some of these issues with the offense and the team throughout the season. It's not often in your career where it just doesn't get figured out. Just how do you process that at this stage of the season?
Yeah, I mean, it's disappointing. I've said that 3 times now, but, we've been working really hard trying to figure out what the issues are. It's not just one person. Sometimes it's me, sometimes it's somebody else, but, I felt good about the 2-minute drive we had, and we got a turnover, and the momentum was going, and the crowd was getting into it. But unfortunately, we didn't score enough points, and that's been our problem all year.
How would you evaluate your play today?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't my best performance. I feel like I did a few good things, but unfortunately in this game, sometimes you have to make a decision and pick a side, and sometimes you pick the right side, sometimes you pick the wrong side. Twice I picked the wrong side, and if I just look right on the first drive, Malachi beats his guy on a double move. The pre-snap, I felt good about Devontae and G were on the left side. If I just pump that and reset, maybe it's a big one to Malachi and we get going. We got another play where I picked G. We don't get a first down. If I come back to the other side, they drop Devontae. So it's just one of those weird things. Sometimes you pick the right side and get lucky, and sometimes you don't, and you have to look at the damn tablet and see a guy was open.
Why is that happening? Because it doesn't feel like this has ever been something you've dealt with before.
What do you mean?
In terms of the picking the wrong side, making the wrong.
It happens all the time. Yeah, it happens all the time. It does happen all the time. Sometimes you just pick it right, and you get on a roll, and you seem to pick it right every time. Sometimes it's a hunch, but I'm going through progressions. Sometimes, in those 2 situations, I would have to skip a progression and just trust that guy's being open. But, sometimes that hits. Sometimes you wish you would have just stayed with the progression. So that's the beauty and the frustration of this game.
Thanks, everyone.
He really comes off like a douche. He really does. Oh, man, I don't know. I feel like there's a lack of energy on this team. I feel like no one has an answer. Across the board. There's just no coaching answer. There's no player answer. There's no effort. There's just a very lack. There was a little bit there where there was some emotion on the sidelines, and or not even on the sidelines, and the fans and the crowd got into it a little bit. And then it was just sucked right out of us. Immediately sucked right out of us. All right. Matt came in. Matt said, I'd really like to draft Jalen Milroe because of how good of an athlete he is and how good he can be out of the pocket. Obviously, his accuracy would have to develop, but a good coaching staff, it could be. Yeah, Milroe, in the early stages of my analysis, is someone that really intrigues me. I don't know where he's going to go yet. It's really hard to tell because I've heard, Dom C has said that the only 2 first-round quarterbacks that he sees, or first-round evaluations that he sees, are Ward and Sanders. Now, that doesn't mean guys won't go in the first round, but I like the idea of someone that might be in the 20s. Like, if we trade back in from the second round into the first round, I'd almost rather do that than the other way around, like drafting someone up really high. But it depends where you end up, right? Right now, let me just do the old refresh. Jets are sitting at the 7 pick. So as it stands right now, you got Jacksonville, then the Titans, then the Browns, then the Raiders, then the Giants, then the Patriots, then the Jets. So, like, ideally, we probably want the Patriots to win a little bit so that way they don't screw us out of a player right in front of us, whether that's allowing someone to leapfrog us or them just taking a player. You got to think Jacksonville's not taking a quarterback. Tennessee is not taking a quarterback. Well, I mean, I would be surprised if they did. That feels like a little bit of a reach, but maybe not. How many years? It's 2 years to leave us if you find yourself up that high. I feel like that would be surprising. Cleveland, I think they're kind of stuck with Watson. That's a very funky team. I think that's probably a prime trade out spot. Vegas wants a quarterback. Giants want a quarterback. Patriots don't really want a quarterback. Carolina, maybe. Dallas is sitting in the top 10 right now. So is New Orleans. Interesting top 10. That's odd because I would have said Jacksonville's going to be a good team. Tennessee's going to be a sneaky good team. Cleveland should have been a good team. Raiders, I figured, would be towards the top. Giants, I figured, would be towards the top. Patriots, I figured, would be towards the top. Jets, no, did not. Man. Wacky. We'll get into it. I'll start breaking down like all the quarterbacks and stuff like that. It's definitely something I'm interested in doing, so we'll get into it. Latif comes in and says, who should we consider for head coach position and how can we make this an attractive landing spot? I also believe Wilson will request a trade. I've been saying I think Wilson's going to request a trade for a long time. I think part of the leak of Adam Schefter or report from Adam Schefter where teams are going to be willing to pay Wilson as soon as his contract is up. That was either leaked by like someone who wanted to disrupt the Jets or Garrett Wilson or his agent just kind of letting it be known out there like, hey, we want a contract after the season, Jets. Or it's, maybe them saying like, hey, we'd like a trade from this team if this is not working out the way we want. Clearly, you're bringing in, Alan Lazard after you had me. And then you're bringing in Devontae Adams after you had me. And like, you want to run the ball on the ground. I don't know. I can work out ways in my head where Garrett Wilson winds up demanding a trade. And I don't want to see that happen because I do prefer him here rather than not. I think I would prefer to blow this team up next year. I'm hoping like middle of the season next year at worst. Like ideally you don't blow it up at all and you do have a good next year. But like I don't want to blow everything up. That'd be disappointing. As far as who I want the next head coach to be, I want someone who's going to bring in like accountability. So Vrabel's kind of tops on my list. I don't think Ben Johnson is going to be available for us. If he is available, I would throw a ton of money at him to get him because I think from a very pure standpoint of this guy knows how to run an offense. It's a lot. It's really freaking hard to screw up when your team is scoring 52 points. Is that what the Lions finished with today? At one point, I saw it was like 52-3 or 52-6. If that dude's putting up that many points week in and week out, I don't really care if like the defense looks like dog shit. If it looks great, fantastic. But man, if it doesn't, I'm okay with that. John Gruden would be up on my list too. That would be higher on the list. I think like my floor is kind of Rex Ryan. Like if Rex were to come in, I would love it to be paired with like a Cliff Kingsbury, like a young offensive-minded head coach with Rex as the assistant head coach and defensive coordinator. Like that to me is a nice balance if you can't get one of your top options. And then maybe Rex instills some sort of Jet pride. Like, hey, you want to be here. Like you want to be a goddamn Jet or whatever. I don't know. Accountability is a big thing. We need a culture change. That's my, that's what I'm sticking to. Jay says Ryan should get hazard pay from YouTube for doing this every week. This is brutal. God, this team gives me heartburn. All right. I'm not going to be doing this. I'm done. I'm done with this damn team. All right, boys and girls. Jets lose in bad fashion, 28-27. We are a joke of a franchise. The season can't end fast enough. I'm looking forward to mock drafts and college football playoffs, which we will be watching games. Maybe I'll do some game streams of that. But I'm not letting this team eat up any more of my Sunday. I'm going to go enjoy it with my family. So I hope you guys do the same. Thank you to our sponsor, BetUS. Get 150% bonus on your first deposit up to $2,000 with YouTube. $150. Again, Jets and Colts went over on the points, and they went towards the Colts. Colts obviously cleared it with the spread. Thanks again for sponsoring the show. Boys and girls, this is Jets Talk signing off. JETS.
One, two, three.